welcome to Africa at Play, coming to you live in our Auckland Park studios. It's just gone 2 p.m. Central African time, and we're ready to bring you some action-packed afternoon, bringing you the latest sports news updates and also some exciting discussions coming up on the show. And I'm your host, Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the great Neto Chimane. And actually, I'm not alone here in studio. I am with Francis Masina, who is our sound engineer, just making sure that you can hear me perfectly. And also the person who formulated the whole show is the great Andy Mali. And we've got a packed show, as I've said, and our topic is sure to spark some great insights as well, and just for you to have some food for thought. So we're actually talking about that we've known that community sports has actually played a great role within sports development. And also the big question is, how has these various sporting codes have made an impact in your community? Do share your stories with us. Do share your insights with us on our social media platforms using hashtag Channel Africa, and also do find us on our channel DSTV, or rather Audio PK, on channel 802. And also you can find us on OpenView on 628, and also on channelafrica.co.za, and also we are available on SABC Plus. Let's get this show started. Springbok loose forward Kwagga Smith said both him and the entire team were hungry and highly motivated to fight back from their defeat against the All Blacks at Eden Park when the sides crossed paths for the second time in a row in Wellington on yesterday. Now, the Springboks, who are still visibly disappointed about the 24-17 result on Sunday morning, travelled from Auckland Park to Wellington in the morning and will begin their on-field preparations for next week's in the Castle Lager Rugby Championships match at the Sun Stadium tomorrow. Let's listen in.
Obviously, it's a massive game. We wanted a different result. It was a tough game. I think we didn't use the opportunities we got, and then obviously they used their opportunities quite well and scored a few tries. But yeah, obviously we'll have to have a review and definitely work hard for the next game.
How much did the weather affect the way the game played out?
Yeah, definitely. I think the ball was really slippery, bounced a lot around. I think it was scrappy at the breakdown. A lot of balls spilled out of the breakdown, and obviously that's difficult to attack from, so we'll definitely have a look at that and work on that.
How much does it put pressure on you guys, or does it motivate you more going into next week's game?
For me personally, I'm very hungry for the next game. Hopefully get a chance to play, but I think for the whole squad, we're definitely motivated for the next game. I think we knew we had a lot of opportunities and we missed out on that, and we know what we can work on, and we'll have a review and then go from there. Yeah, I think there's a lot of history and everything, and Ari's 100th game, congratulations to him. It was obviously something, but I think for us as a team, we know what our standards were, and I think we didn't use our opportunities that we got, and we'll definitely try to rectify that.
Now, meanwhile, Netball Association of Zambia Secretary General Pritchard Ngoma weighs in on the topic of the day.
Around 2018, England Netball, World Netball came to Zambia to see how best we can qualify to the 2019 World Cup. So they supported us through provision of technical personnel and equipment. Having failed to qualify, resources were still available, and one of the things they asked us to do is to evaluate and see how best we can move forward. So one of the things that we did as Zambia is that we went on a pathway to develop what is now being referred to as community hub sites. So Netball has developed community hub sites, essentially meaning that we identify athletes at the tender age, maybe 9, 8, somewhere there, allow them to train within their communities, create zones within communities, and create mini competition within those communities. And after they've graduated between the ages of 12, 13, they get into the youth league that goes up to under 18. So the youth league provides an opportunity for communities to compete at inter-community level. So you have a team, for argument's sake, in Matero, competing against a team in Charleston. So within the city, this allows us for reduced costs in terms of budgetary allocations for transportation to far places like Kawi for the elite teams. After they've graduated through the under 18, then there's a pathway that leads them into the elite league. So you have elite teams that poach these players, and then some of them have been employed. If you look at the under 21 that has qualified to the World Cup, they've been drawn from similar structures. So we have players that have grown in from Chibolia hub sites, Matero hub sites, Kalingalinga hub sites, into now what is being called the elite league. So after qualification last year, some of these players today have been employed by Correctional Service, Zambia Air Force, and so forth. So it actually runs along our vision of enriching lives through netball. So we provide the technical support at those hub sites.
Lastly, Matthew Pritzker has announced his arrival on the international stage in sensational fashion, etching his name into the record books. Now, the 26-year-old South African opener has become the first player in the men's ODI history to score 50-plus runs in each of his first 5 innings, going past former India opener Navjot Singh, who had managed 4 such knocks at the start of his career. Now, the milestone came during the second ODI between South Africa and England at the Lords, where Pritzker once again displayed his elegant stroke play and solid temperament. Let's listen in for more.
Yeah, it was a challenging game. I think the partnerships we built with the bat were important. I think the wicket wasn't actually as easy as we thought it would be. We were thinking sort of a 280 score there, and it just got easier as we batted along, and playing at Lords, there's nothing better. I would say so a little bit. Yeah, I think we just felt that Rash was on it today. He was bowling really well and the conditions suited him, so we just had to sort of suck up and see what we could get from him, and then from the other guys look to score a little bit more freely. Yeah, I actually haven't thought about those other guys, to be honest. It's just been it's been going well. It's obviously I bat with Tristan Stubbs at 5, who played a lot of cricket with in my younger days, and we go to the same school, so we have a really good relationship. So yeah, hopefully it can keep going the way it's gone. Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, I love playing cricket in England. Just the crowds and the energy that the crowds bring, like, there's nothing better. I feed off it. So, yeah, it's been good, and long may it continue.
It's just gone 8 minutes past 2, and we're actually getting ready for a thrilling boxing event that actually celebrates South African sports and culture. Now, TLB Boxing Promotions is set to present Heritage Fists, a landmark showcasing boxing showdown taking place at the Sun City Super Bowl this Heritage Month. Now, it will feature 5 professional boxing bouts, including the highly anticipated vacant SA Junior welterweight title fight between Busiso Zingange and also Apiwe Mboiye, as well as the main supporting bout between Lucky as well as Sandile Dumisa. Now, I'm joined by Joyce Kungwane, the founder of TLB Boxing Promotions, just to discuss the event's significance and also what the fans can expect. So now, with that conversation, we will be back with it right after this short break.
You heard something you like on Channel Africa, and you would like to hear it again? Worry not, we've got your back. Just go to our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, and look for our podcast. This September, Channel Africa celebrates Heritage Month, a time to honor the stories, the rhythms, and the languages that make us who we are. Whether you're in Lagos or the shores of Zanzibar, to the mountains of Lesotho or the markets of Dakar, we are united in diversity.
Najivunia kuwa Mwafrika.
Kutondolera Afrika ndiye nduwake.
Proudly African and fabulous.
Let us preserve our languages. Let's embrace our uniqueness. Let's embrace our cultures and celebrate the beauty of our continent. Channel Africa, the African perspective. You like what we do on Channel Africa? Then follow us on our socials. Channel Africa 1 on all social pages. And get the African perspective. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
It's 10 minutes past 2, and we're coming to you live here in our Auckland Park studios. And I am Prudence Makhubalo, standing in Neto Chimane, as he likes to say, asidlali siyashaya. And now coming on to this event, talking about Ukshaya, talking about rather the event's significance and also what the fans can expect on the upcoming TLB boxing promotions event. And on the line, I'm actually joined by Joyce Kungwane. Joyce, welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, my sister, and thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, and now...
hello and good afternoon to your listeners, by the way.
Okay.
In Africa.
Okay, yes. And just getting into the conversation, what makes Heritage Fists a unique and unforgettable experience for boxing fans, and how does it celebrate South African heritage?
You know, a lot of people don't understand what heritage means.
Yeah.
And TLB boxing promotions, we felt that it is important that we remind people so that we can know where we come from as Africans especially. So we felt that we should dub our event Heritage Fest because it will be happening during Heritage Month, where we are reminding each other where we come from as Africans.
Yeah, and also just to delve more onto that, about most especially the 5 professional boxing bouts and what makes each match exciting.
Look, the main bout between Sibusiso Zingange and Mboia, it's the long-awaited fight that the boxing people have been waiting for. There were issues as early as March, where Mboia was supposed to fight Nkosi, and it did not happen. It was postponed, and then Nkosi vacated the title because he was the champion at the time. So what happened was that Team Mboia, they opted for number 8 actually to fight for the vacant title, and the Zingange team, that's TLB, actually intercepted that with BSA to say it cannot be correct because he was the qualifying one. He was number 2 when Mboia is number 1. So, yeah, it had dragged so long, but ultimately TLB is the one that is able to do that event.
Okay, Joyce, just stay on with us on the line, and do stay tuned for more onto that conversation after this short break.
AUSISA, the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, is a platform uniting Africa's water professionals. This November, Africa leads the conversation on water and sanitation. Join global and African leaders at the AUSISA Africa and Global South Dialogue 2025 from the 9th till the 12th of November at the Emperor's Palace, Johannesburg. From policy innovation, this is where action meets collaboration for a water-secure future. Register today at ausisa-watersan-dialogue.org or follow at AUSISA on social media. AUSISA, working together for sustainable water and sanitation security in Africa. Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
It's just gone 14 minutes past 2, and I'm Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the great Neto Chimane, and just continuing with the conversation with Joyce Kungwane, just talking about, this exciting boxing event. And Joyce, just to continue even further, let's talk about partnerships, most especially the importance of collaborations with the IMBRICS Forum, Sir Industries, and also the Northwest local government also contribute to this event success. What's the impact of it actually?
Look, IMBRICS, we're talking international. We're talking the BRICS countries coming to South Africa. I guess the listeners are aware of that. And when the BRICS ambassador, South African BRICS ambassador, actually spoke to me to say, look, we will be having this, which was initially meant to happen in Joburg, by the way. And he made an offer to us to say, would you like to put a boxing event enclosing the forum? And obviously, that was an exciting invitation for me. I jumped for a moment, and because, administrative challenges, it ended up going to Northwest, and we really want to thank Northwest for coming on board in saving this.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a struggle in South Africa to get support, especially for boxing. And being a woman, by the way, it's still a struggle that we're facing to say how we're different from the rest of the guys that are getting so much support.
Yeah.
So we are grateful for that. We are grateful to our ambassador who actually made sure that the TLB becomes the part of the event, the imbrics that will be happening in Sun City, by the way.
Yeah. And now that you've actually mentioned on, your representation as a woman in the industry, in the boxing industry, are there actually women who are also being part of the event?
You mean the fighters?
The fighters, yes.
Yes. Look, initially we had a one bout for the females, but then they pulled out because one opponent signed with the two promoters, and then I felt that it cannot be correct that I have somebody fighting this week, and then after a week, they rest for a week, and then they come. What if they get a TKO? So it was going to actually disorganize TLB boxing promotions, or if they were to fight in TLB first, then they were going to disorganize the other promoter. So we felt that because there's an opportunity of women fighting in Gauteng come the 25th of October, we will schedule them there. And I think you have heard that there's going to be a series of female events, and that's where they're going to get an opportunity. It's just unfortunate that we had to take that decision as TLB Boxing Promotions, something that we never do because we never host tournaments without female bouts.
Yeah. It seems like there's a bit of a challenge in that front. Are you able just to probably tell us what those challenges might be?
Look, the challenges are we don't have many female boxers, number one. Number two, we struggle to get the matching, when it comes to the weight divisions. That's why it's such a challenge. I mean, if we are to talk to our upcoming October, where we'll be only doing females in Gauteng, it's the idea is to say we give opportunity to Gauteng boxers, but because of the weight divisions and not having so many female promoters, I mean, in Gauteng alone this year we're having, I think, 11 licensed boxers. And out of those 11, they are not in the same weight division. So we're forced to go outside Gauteng to get other boxers to come and fight in Gauteng. And you can imagine if we are getting somebody from Northwest. Say, for instance, Northwest is hosting their event in November, just after Gauteng. They might have a challenge also because the boxers would have been utilized in Gauteng. So that's a bit of a challenge that we're facing.
Yeah. And just in your view, when can we see Buki Wenonina on the TLB?
Let me rather not respond on that one for now.
Okay. Okay, because of you spoke on women, yeah?
No, yes, a word on us.
Oh, okay. All right. Just moving further along then on the event, what are the strengths and weaknesses of Zingange as well as Mboia, and who do you think will emerge victoriously in the SA Junior welterweight title fight?
Look, both boxers are hungry for this title. And by the way, they will be meeting for the third time, if I have to share with the listeners. The first fight, it went in favor of Mboia, even the second one, even though there were challenges with the results with the second one. So I guess this one is the one that is going to prove who's the actual man. Yeah. And I'm from Gauteng, Zingange is from Gauteng. Well, I can't say that title must go to Eastern Cape. I know Andy might fight with me.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guess let the best boxer win.
Yeah. So how does this bout impact the South African boxing landscape, and also what opportunities does it represent for the winners? And also what prizes are they expecting?
Look, the fact that the boxers will be fighting under imbrics, that alone gives them a different platform where the world is going to see them. This is one challenge that we've been raising, to say our boxers are not known because they're not getting the real exposure or the correct exposure as compared to the yesteryear boxers, So it's a great opportunity for all of them to fight under BRICS. And, the prizes for the main title is that the SA belt.
Yeah. And also, what can we expect from the main supporting bout between Lucky and also Sandile? And how do their styles match up?
Lucky is an exciting boxer to watch. And remember, Lucky is also from Northwest. I think it's a great opportunity for him to show the Northwest province, or government rather, to say, please support me because I'm representing you. Remember, Lucky is a former ABU champion, junior lightweight. So he's an exciting boxer. He's got great following, and we are saying to his followers, they must just make sure that they go to San Siri, make that arena full.
Yeah. So are there any upcoming boxers in the supporting bouts that fans could actually keep an eye on?
Yes, definitely. In total, we are having 5 bouts. And the nice part is we've also taken care of the new ones. We have a bout of the boxers that will be that it's their pre-debut, meaning that will be their first fight. Okay, the other one has got 1 fight, and the other one is fairly new. He's from Northwest as well. And we are saying to Northwest people they should come and support him as well. We've got Prudence Makhubalo. He's from Northwest. He's the fairly new one. He'll be fighting Zola Tlangisa from Gauteng. Zola Tlangisa has got 1 fight actually.
Yeah.
And then we will be having Gift Bolo, the junior welterweight. He'll be fighting Lindoku Dlamini. Gift Bolo is based in Gauteng, but he's from Eastern Cape. He'll be fighting Lindoku Dlamini from KZN. We have Zorila Mia from Gauteng. He'll be fighting Njabulo Buthelezi. And then we've got the other one, the WBF light heavyweight titles between Bongwini Konsi and Hlapo, who's the current champion. He'll be defending against Jimmy Mabuntu from Western Cape.
Yeah. And also, just talking about the legacy and impact that this event actually has, how does, Heritage Fists contribute to the growth and development of boxing in South Africa?
We are telling the world that South Africa has got talent.
Yeah.
And there was no other place or venue or a day, actually, that we could have done it better than doing it in Heritage Month under BRICS.
Yeah. And also I'm actually interested on finding out what's actually happening, behind the scenes. Like what goes into organizing an event like Heritage Fest, and what are some of the biggest challenges faced by the team?
Trust me, you don't want to be a boxing promoter.
If you can just share an in-depth, what you... Yeah.
Look, our greatest challenge is financial support.
Yeah.
The sponsors, we are struggling. Sometimes you sit and say, is it going to happen? And the first people that you think of are your boxers, to say, if I don't do it, what's going to happen to them? Remember, the boxers depend on boxing to earn a living. And if somebody has to stay for 12 months not fighting, it means there's no salary for 12 months. It's so frustrating. So some of us push ourselves to the edge just to make sure that at least we keep boxers fighting. I mean, if I can share with you, It's September, and this will be our first event. Very disappointing, something that people are not used to that, especially coming from TLB Boxing Promotions. Previously, we did events with our own finances, but it's something that is not sustainable, and that's why we said we're not going to do it again. Besides, it's not there. When you're doing an event with your money and you can't make it, you can't recover that money, you're actually working at a loss. Yeah. And it's tough. Trust me, my sister, it's tough. As it is right now, we're working hard to make sure that this event happens. It does not get cancelled.
Yeah, you have pointed out challenges, most importantly in finance. Now, where do you rather angle, or rather in your sense, where would you want the change to be and by whom?
Would appreciate if corporate can come back and support boxing. You know, we cannot rely solely on government because it's also not sustainable, and there's many of us right now, and if we're having corporate coming to support it, I think that would be better. Look, I don't want to sound racial, but it's a challenge for us black people, if I must be honest. Second thing is the broadcaster, who has made it very difficult for us to push, because when you approach sponsors, the first question they ask, do you have TV?
Yeah.
And if you're not sure of having TV, how then do you convince the sponsor to come on board? So it's a challenge.
Yeah. And also, how do actually boxers prepare for such a high, profile event, and what support do they receive from the TLB boxing promotions team?
TLB, we've been engaging with some of the boxers, and some would say, Mama, please, man, we need money to buy 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And we do send to those that are asking to say, okay, here's something for you to can put, make sure that you get the weight that you require. Remember, boxers, if you are saying you are junior welterweight, you're supposed to make a certain weight for you to can fight on that day. You know, on the day before the actual fight, they go onto the scale to make sure that they meet the required weight. So they go through a lot of things. The training, it changes. The eating, it changes. The lifestyle changes as long as they are preparing for the fight.
Yeah, and also
there's no standing in a corner and enjoying your quarter.
Yeah. And also, can you share rather your any memorable, moments or experiences from your journey as a boxing promoter, and also how do they, have shaped your vision in the TLB boxing promotions?
Look, the one that I've got two key that I would never forget. I mean, the 9th of April 2022 in Sun City, the Celeb City Boxing one, the very first one. I mean, people still talk about that, and other people still get shocked when I say it's TLB Boxing Promotions that put Casper and Nut Music in the ring.
Yeah.
That it's history that cannot be erased. I will always be grateful for that opportunity. I mean, the fact that there has not been another celebrity boxing that was better than that one, and it's still talked about even today. It's one thing that I say to myself, you did a great job.
Yeah.
Yes, when we did all female fight, that was in 2021 in Limpopo, when the sponsor dropped us on the eve of the event, actually the first day of the Saturday, and I had to make sure that the event continues regardless. And the saddest thing is that we had all the provinces in Limpopo, and we had also African boxers, and as TLB Boxing Promotions, we made sure that that event continues. And it obviously had to continue with us having to fund it.
Yeah.
And thanks to COSATU, who came on board because they supported us. Remember, previously we partnered with COSATU, who are actually supporting females. And they came on board and helped us with some logistics. But the biggest finances that sponsors need is for paying off boxers. You know, if you don't have the passes for the boxers, you can have a beautiful venue, you can have artists coming to perform. But if you don't have that money to pay the boxers, you must forget you don't have an event.
Yeah. I mean, like, finances are actually, a challenger everywhere. And I'm actually, asking myself, you've just mentioned that, a sponsor dropped you last minute. Is there a reason probably why?
It was pure sabotage.
Oh.
Remember, I'm from Gauteng. I went all the way to Limpopo. And it's like an issue of saying, wow, who is she? Do you understand?
Yeah.
And it was disappointing to get a call from a high office on Thursday to say, unfortunately, we cannot afford to support you. We can rather give you your gas water. And I'm like, okay, keep your order.
My goodness. And also, just before we actually close off the conversation, what are your plans for future boxing events, and how does Heritage Fists fit into the TLB Boxing Promotions overall strategy?
Look, what we've been doing as TLB Boxing Promotions, we actually align our events to memorable dates or as to the calendar, very important dates on the calendar. So heritage to us says people must know where they come from. We cannot find any other platform to can remind our people to say who are we? I mean, ke Motswana, ke Mokwena, ke Lemja, ke Bona, and somebody else also coming that side to say and we can use boxing as a sport, because remember, sport brings people together. And in celebrating heritage, we can do it differently by putting people in the ring and making sure that everybody shows their talent.
Yeah, and that was actually the voice of Joyce Kungwane, the founder of TLB Boxing Promotions, just telling us, the event's significance and also what fans can expect in celebrating the South African sports and also culture in terms of the TLB Boxing promotions setting to present Heritage Fists as a landmark boxing showdown that is actually taking place in Sun City Super Bowl this Heritage Month. We'll be back after this short break. And that beautiful soundtrack is from Diamonds of Guicho and Azul, Uzusi Sola. And it's just gone 37 minutes past 2, and you're still listening to Africa at Play with me, Prudence Makhubalo. And I'm actually standing in for the great Neto Chimane as well. And going into this story now, it's another major moment for global sports as more than 2,000 athletes drawn from over 200 countries compete for medals at the 9-day World Championships in Tokyo in Japan starting next weekend. Africa is well represented at the world stage. Now, one of the athletes flying these Zimbabwean flag high is a triple jumper, Chengetai Mapaya, based in the USA, ready to take on some of the world's finest. Now, our UK-based sports correspondent Gesho Mnyati caught up with the triple after he finished his morning training session in Texas.
You are stepping into one of the most competitive arenas in world sport. How do you feel, both physically and mentally, to go head-to-head with the very best and challenge for a podium finish?
First of all, this is Chengetai Mapaya, popularly known as Du Airlines Ndege ya Zimbabwe. I feel very confident, and I'm definitely 100% going into this competition. You know, it's definitely an honor and a privilege to represent, my country, Zimbabwe. And the confidence is definitely at all-time high right now. I've had a very good, season, making me, qualify for the World Champs. So definitely excited, and I want to put on a show. I've made, multiple World Champs teams, and, I've failed to make the finals. And, this year when I went for World Indoor Champs, I made my first indoor final and World Indoor final, and I came 7th. So my confidence, of just making a final just went over the roof. So going for World Champs in Tokyo this year is, an exciting thing now because my confidence is up there. I'm not only trying to, shoot for the final, but, I want to challenge that, podium finish. So, yeah, excited and, honored and privileged to be at this competition.
Oh, that's superb. Now, we know you are not the only USA-based Zimbabwean athlete making your way to Tokyo. Have you had a chance to connect with others, maybe to share motivation or just build that spirit of togetherness before the Games?
Yes, so I'm well connected with all the Zimbabwean athletes that are based in America. These include, Makanaka Charamba, Carly Makarau, Ashley Miller, and Vimbai Maishorewa. These are all, my close friends and people who I connect with on a regular basis. They don't stay in the same state as me, but, we're connected through social media, through, messaging. So, yeah, all of us, we're very excited. This is also the biggest team Zimbabwe has put down, to go for World Champs. So everyone is ready and excited. I know the likes of, Makanaka and Makarau are actually leaving on Monday. So, yeah, everyone is looking good. We're excited to see each other over there.
Yeah, and as always, there is a a big wave of support coming from back home in Zimbabwe. What message would you like to send to the people, your family, your supporters, and everyone watching your journey?
Yeah, no, I guess, the biggest message is just we want, people behind us, that support is something that we need for sure. We've put in the work to be here, right? And we know, definitely the love is very strong at home. Given we're in America, right, it's definitely, we have support here, but home is home, and, we just want that support and prayers, from back home. And, we're going to handle the rest, we're just going to put on a show for not only for ourselves, but for the whole country. But yeah, I guess, one of the biggest messages, not only for support, is if we can do it, other people can do it. So anyone who's following a dream, to become the best in whatever they're doing, we are living proof that it can be done no matter what circumstances you're in.
Yeah, that's excellent. But I'm sure you aware that the defending champion is from the African continent, Hukes Fabrice Zango is from Burkina Faso. And sometime when we spoke, he is like your good friend. Do you think you're going to enjoy competing with him? He's one of the best. He's a world-class triple jumper. Do you think you've got a chance to beat him?
Yeah, so I've only competed with Fabrice, closely at Africa Champs, where I came second in the E1. And if I'm not mistaken, this is his last year actually competing. And I'm definitely confident I'm gonna give him run for the money. I'm definitely confident I'm gonna be right there behind him. And yeah, it's gonna take a lot for him to just win it. It's not gonna be an easy path for him to win it. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to give a show to him and just show him, if he was able to do it, he has actually inspired me also. If he won the world champs, what's stopping for another African to win it? So definitely I want to go there and, and definitely beat everyone. That's the ultimate goal. I'm a competitor and I'm not trying to go there, and not come and win. So yeah, I definitely want to give him a show and beat him for sure.
Yeah, I know Fabrice Zango is somebody who worked very hard. He trained as an electrical engineer. He's got a PhD, and he must be running some business in Burkina Faso. Do you think that is why maybe he wants to call it quits now?
I don't know enough to quote on any of that, to be very honest. But yeah, I think, from just he's done, I've seen a video just on social media. He's done quite a bit within the sport, right? And, I know definitely, as you mentioned, he has a business within the electrical engineering field. So I'm sure now he wants to take his other passion somewhere else. And yeah, I guess he's leaving the room for us youngings to come in and take over, right?
So when you get to Tokyo, obviously you are going to meet other Zimbabweans who will travel probably from Bulawayo and Harare. That is the marathon runners, Isaac Mpofu and Tendai Zimuto, and fortunately Tsijibo also. So you will be a team. I hope you will have a good time as well socially.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm definitely pretty close with Isaac Mpofu. We have gone for world champs together, so very excited, to connect. It's always good, when you go for world champs and you have, your own, people. I've gone for world champs and it's only been like 2 to 3 people. So having 8 people from Zimbabwe being there, it's definitely gonna be, very fun. You won't feel out of place, right? Because you have your own people around you from the same country. So yeah, it's gonna be definitely exciting times for us.
Oh, thank you. So if I can ask maybe the last question, when do you compete yourself? Because the games will start on a Saturday, I think. And that's day 1, day 2, day 3. What day will you be competing yourself? Do you know?
So I'll be competing on the 17th. My qualifiers on the 17th, which is a Wednesday. So that should be day 4 if I'm not mistaken. But 17th September is when, the Do Airlines flies on, the 17th. So you don't want to miss that day for sure.
All the best and enjoy, please.
Thank you very much. I'll definitely enjoy it. Thank you.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et votre 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Heritage are the songs we sing, the meals we share, the wisdom we pass to our children. Channel Africa. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
It's 46 minutes past 2, and I'm your host, Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the great Neto Chimane. And just to continue the conversation with our UK-based correspondent, Gesho Minyati, who actually caught up after the triple, who actually finished with the morning training section in Texas. And just to delve into the conversation, Gershom, welcome to Africa at Play. The morning training section.
Thank you, Prudence. Thank you very much.
And just talking with Chengetai, who is actually optimistic to get the best out of himself in Tokyo, but it won't be easy, right?
Yes, that is true, but it is perfectly all right that he is optimistic. He is really determined to go for it, because if you have got doubts, if you are doubtful, that is self-defeating. You can't deliver the goods. So he is perfectly right. Africa-wise, I would say he is the second best triple jumper on the African continent at the moment, behind Fabrice Zango of Burkina Faso, who is actually the world champion at the moment. So yeah, he has got a chance, but he has to really work hard, because in the first place they do preliminaries, then he has to qualify and then start to compete, for the final, something like that. But this year, I know that he went to China, where he competed at the World Indoor Championships, and he made it to the finals, but he finished 7th position. So he is somewhere there. He can deliver the goods. We will wait and see.
And also, do we know that the breakdown of the African teams that will have a strong representation on these?
Yes. The East Africans, Kenya, they've got the biggest team of 58 athletes. Ethiopia, third best with 37 athletes. South Africa, second best with 49 athletes. Nigeria, 15. Morocco, 20. Uganda, 21. Botswana, they've got 12. Some countries, they've got small teams, 3, 4 or so, or even 1, just like Lesotho. But there will be a lot of African athletes competing at these global championships. And obviously, they will be looking to get medals.
Yeah. And also among the continent, who are your strong medals hope?
Yeah, the elite athletes, most of them are from Kenya and Ethiopia in long track events. That is to say, anything from 800 meters, like Kenya, they've got Emmanuel Wanyonyi in the 800 meters. I doubt if he will be beaten. He's likely to win a gold medal. He's the Olympic champion from Paris last year. He has got a chance. And then there's a lot of other athletes from Kenya. Faith Kipegoni, 1,500 meters. Sometimes she can do 5,000 meters as well. She's a very good athlete. And they've got Faith Cherotich in the steeplechase. She won the Diamond League Series this year. She got the trophy, so she's very strong. And Ethiopia, they've got an abundance of talent. Yomif Kijelsha, who is running in the 10,000 meters, he has got a chance. The other athletes from Ethiopia, they include Tsiki Tuguma, who will compete in the 800 meters. She's a strong favorite to take that. Tsegai Gudaf, She's likely to do the 5,000 and 10,000 meters equally good. They've got chances of getting medals. Uganda is a strong team. They've got Cheptegei, Joshua Cheptegei, Jacob Kiplimo, and another good crop of new athletes who are upcoming, who have got the potential to do well. But it's quite exciting. If I can go to Morocco in the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, they've got Sofiane El Bahali. He's the defending champion. Although he didn't show much this season, but I think he has got a chance to win the men's 3,000 meters steeplechase.
Yeah.
But one thing that I want to say is that of late, some athletes from European countries, they are really coming up. They are making an attack on African athletes, especially in distance running. They're coming very strong. So the continent also has to work very, very hard to deliver the goods.
Yeah, you've just spoken about, the continent working very hard to be able to be able to have, or rather improve, the grassroots level of sport. So let's talk about African athletics, and what do you think are the key challenges and also opportunities that are being faced by athletes in the continent?
Yeah, there are challenges in that the athletes, they don't get meaningful support. When I say meaningful support, I mean in terms of finance, because as an athlete, you need sports attire, you need to engage a physiotherapist. There are lots of things involved. So some of the athletes from the continent, they struggle to get these requirements. And also the venues. Some countries, they don't have a proper track to train and, exercise fully. And when only it comes to go abroad in Europe, then they start to see the beautiful tracks, beautiful facilities and that. So we are a little much down on facilities. There is need to have the facilities improved. One other thing which I feel I should have left is that South Africa in particular, I spoke to some members of the South African team, Zagiti Nene. They have got the potential to do well in the 4x100 meters, spearheaded by the great Akani Simbine, who will compete in the 100 meters and the 200 meters. And then after that, he will team up with some younger runners who are upcoming to try to make a mark in the 4x100 meters. And Botswana also, they've got a strong runner in Letsile Tebogo, who is competing in the 100 and 200 meters. He has got a chance. And after that, just like Simbine, he's going to be part of the Botswana's 4x400 meters relay team, which our listeners may remember. They won a bronze medal at the Tokyo Olympic Games some few years back, and they'll be competing at the same stadium so they can deliver the goods. Yeah, that's it. What I can say, Prudence, we need facilities, we need finance to actually develop athletics.
Yeah, and just before I actually let you go, I am actually interested in just hearing your insight into this on how do you think that the championships will have an impact in the global athletics landscape, and also what implications might have in the future competitions?
Well, athletics is developing every time and then. Now, there's modern athletics, things have changed, everything is just new. So like these world championships, people will go there and compete. You'll find that there'll be certain developments. There are lots of things coming up. The standards are getting, very high. And some athletes, the shoes that they wear, some say that some companies manufacture shoes that make them run fast You see, there's a lot involved. So going to the World Championships ready is a good thing for the athletes. And after that, these athletes will then go back home and teach the other young athletes how to develop. You know, we have to assist each other.
Yeah, and that was the voice of Kesho Mnyati, our UK-based correspondent, giving us an update on the championships that are actually, taking place in Tokyo in Japan. That will be rather taking place in Tokyo in Japan in the next week. Let's take a short break.
Thank you very much. Guess what? I've been talking to the youth lately. Yeah. A group of people that truly believes life a generation for them was easy. And I'm like, wow. Okay, let me talk to that generation. Which is also saying the same thing. Life before us was easy, man. And I came to the conclusion that, ladies and gentlemen, there is no easy life at all. Life is how you make it. kungodimbura chete woko chomuka mucheritesh unzi kungodimburira chete woko chomuka Wite mandiro Mandiro Wite mandiro Mandiro Wite mandiro Mandiro Wite mandiro Marama wite mandiro Mandiro Marama wite mandiro Marama wite mandiro Mandiro Marama wite mandiro Mandiro,
It's just gone 6 p.m., 6 minutes past 3 Central African time, coming to you live in our Auckland Park studios. And I'm Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the greater Neto Chimane. And actually going into this next story, rather, that we've seen that Bafana Bafana's upcoming match against Nigeria is actually highly anticipated. Now, however, Nigeria's coach, Eric Chile, has actually expressed some confidence, despite Victor's Osimhen's absence from the team. Now, delving into this conversation, I'm actually joined by our correspondent based in Nigeria, Tony Ubani. Tony, welcome to Africa at Play.
Thank you very much.
And also, just to delve more onto this highly anticipated match. Now, tell us on the significance of Victor Osimhen's absence from the Nigerian team, and what impact will it actually have in their strategy against Bafana Bafana?
I must admit that it's a very big blow to the Nigerian team. St. Victor Osimhen is one of the top-rated world-class goal scorers in the world, and of course he has proved it over time, starting from his time in Napoli, and of course moving to Galatasaray, where there were a lot of controversies, of course, before he pinned a Turkey world record signing for him to stay in Galatasaray, and he has proved over time, that he is Nigeria's top goal scorer. He scores every time he plays, and indeed, he brings a lot of excitement to appear in the Super Eagles. And as it is now, yesterday when he left out of the game against Rwanda, so many Nigerians were disillusioned. But somehow everybody thought that perhaps it was something that could just, he will overcome. But today when he woke up, the team doctor, confirmed that Osimhen's injury was just a bruise on his shin, and that the degree of discomfort and weight not been traveling, that he will not be traveling to South Africa for Tuesday's match. And that was a gloom. It brought so much gloom and despair to so many of the players and the officials, even though most of them tried to manage it. The psychologists had to psych the players off because Osimhen has been a one-man who has always been there encouraging players, telling them the importance of what it is for them to make it to World Cup. Nigeria, if you remember, were not there at the last World Cup in Qatar. And indeed, like, somebody says, anytime a team misses a World Cup, it takes back the development of football 8 years back. And of course, the generation of players in Nigeria, will definitely be so jolted if indeed Nigeria do not make it to the World Cup. Already, Nigeria is playing at a disadvantage. Playing, they have 10 points, and of course, South Africa are runaway group leaders in the Group C, with 16 points. Every other Nigerian has really been dependent and hoping, for a better news coming from World Soccer Governing Body, FIFA, on the point deduction on South Africa for including a player that had already maximum yellow card. But that has not been done, and Nigerians are clamoring for that, even though Nigeria is not benefiting directly from getting the 3 points, but then that will ensure that South Africa's points will be reduced, and all things being equal, with 10 points, with Nigeria on 10 points and South Africa on 16 points. If that points are docked from South Africa, that means it will reduce South Africa's points to 13. And then this is where the mathematics comes in. Everybody expects that Nigeria is going to upset South Africa on Tuesday in Bloemfontein. And if that is to happen, Nigeria beats South Africa, that means they will be at par, 13 points. That's if FIFA, dogs the 3 points from South Africa. But that's the expectations, and that's the mathematics of Nigerians out here. And everybody is just hoping, praying that FIFA does the needful by deducting the 3 points. Remember, Nigeria also suffered that fate in 2018, when they fielded a player that had already gotten 2 cards, and FIFA also had to, hammer, and Nigeria lost 3 points and 3 goals. So everybody's expecting that, and indeed, with the performance of the Eagles. The game against Rwanda, was not interesting. It was so boring. But then the Rwandans, controlled the ball better and had a better place than Nigeria. So without Oshime at the attack, everybody's just hoping that this is going to be a journey too far for the Super Eagles.
Yeah, you actually mentioned on that game, and what can, the Nigerian coach replicate the plan that almost worked against Rwanda, and what adjustment will need to be taken?
Yeah, after that game, pressure, if you know Nigerians and their love for football, you know that it's a difficult country for anybody, to be a coach, except you are a coach that is winning all games. Even when you win and then you do not play well, there's going to be a lot of, bashing by Nigerians. But that's today's match. Nigerians were not happy, but the most important thing is that they got the 3 points. As it is now, people are hoping, praying for a way for us to get 3 points against South Africa, and that draws us level. And indeed, we definitely see that Nigeria win their remaining 3 matches. But as it is, realistically, if as a football analyst and somebody who has been in this game, for a very long time, I think that South Africa has a lot of advantage. Chel himself has been sitting on a keg of gunpowder. We saw him take Nigeria, to the Chan Eagles, and that's the competition that is meant for Africans playing in the African League. And we saw that it was a very dismal outing by Chel. He had the group stage, he could only win 1 game against Congo. And of course, that also counted against him. And of course, so many Nigerians, criticized him for that. And so many people even called for his sack. So coming in to play against Rwanda, I understand why he was applauding the players yesterday because, at least it was a relief for him that he got 3 points, and going to South Africa will be a very big test for him.
Yeah.
Because if he do not get a favorable result, definitely it's going to be a very sad one for him because all hopes of Nigerians is pinned on the match in South Africa. And everybody believes that South Africa will fall. But then we've equally seen what happens. Like the coach of Rwanda, Abdel Amrouche, from Algeria, said yesterday that Nigeria made use of their home advantage, where the referee, according to him, was the 12th man on the pitch. And if indeed African football being what it is, that type of advantage is accorded to South Africa, I think that Nigeria will be in for more trouble. But then we have equally seen that Nigerian players, big names and who play in very big clubs, they do not bring, that energy they play for in their clubs. They do not bring it back home when they are wearing the green, white, green jersey. Yesterday we saw all types of players, who earn fantastic salaries. And of course they could not, dislodge the Rwandans. The Rwandans were a better team, coordinated team, very swift in attack. There is so much understanding. And of course, we saw also the goalkeeper of Nigeria, who plays in South Africa, Wabale. Wabale was a disgrace, in my own opinion, because if indeed they used the VAR in the game against Rwanda, I think that Nigeria would have lost their goalkeeper because Wabale allowed the emotions to control him. He went out of place. He was unprofessional. And what he did against the Rwandan attackers, would have fetched him a direct red card. We pray that he does not display that against South Africa, knowing that, he can very well. But then it is an attitude that we have always noticed since he came to the limelight and then grabbed the number 1 jersey, for the Super Eagles and the goalkeepers department. We pray that Wabale gets stabilized against South Africa on Tuesday and do not bring his emotions to bear. And then also pray that the Eagles will be coordinated because in their desperation to score against South Africa, they could as well concede, and that will be very dangerous for Nigeria and their hopes of going to the World Cup.
Yeah, okay, Tony, if you could just stay with me on the line, and we are going to be taking this short break after this.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. Monday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
It's 17 minutes past 3 and Central African Time, and we're actually live here at our Auckland Park studios. And just continuing on this conversation with this highly anticipated match on Nigeria versus Bafana Bafana. And Tony, just to continue with this conversation, you've seen rather last week with the match with Lesotho that South Africa has actually won. What's your anticipation in terms of that, or rather your insights? Do you really think that Nigeria should be threatened with that?
Yeah, I must admit, that the South Africa that we are seeing, the Bafana Bafana that we are seeing, it's not the same South Africa, the Bafana Bafana that we are seeing, in yesteryears. South Africa has improved tremendously, and they have equally well-talented players, and they're bringing it to bear, and of course, that's why they have risen to the top of the level, where indeed, when you count about 2-3 countries in Africa, that are very solid, rugged in football, South Africa must be mentioned. The players have come to realize the fact that, of how good they are, and of course, this is the time for them to impose it. And I do not think of anything that gets the advantage that South Africa has, despite the mistakes of fielding a player, that had 2 yellow cards. It happens, like I told you, it has happened to Nigeria in 2018, and of course, Nigeria, of course, overcame it and went straight qualifying. And I honestly, I tell you that with the play that I see South Africa, with what I saw against the Lesotho game, I think they have the play and they have the attacking options, for them to, continue despite whatever FIFA does, even deducting the points. Because if indeed they deduct the points from 16 points, that will land them in 13 points. They are still 3 points ahead of Nigeria. So Nigeria is playing catch-up. What Nigeria is doing is to see if indeed, they can hold South Africa or beat up, not even holding South Africa. Because if they hold South Africa to a draw, that means that South Africa will also still be a step ahead of them. If they bring down their points to 13 points and then Nigeria is on 10, and South Africa wins against Nigeria on Tuesday, like we say in Nigeria, the church has closed. That means that the door has been closed on Nigeria's dreams of participating in the World Cup. So honestly, I think that everything is in the hands of the players of Bafana Bafana. They have a very good coach. Hugo Broos is one of very good tacticians who reads matches and of course who understands how to make changes during matches. I think the two countries they have come a very long way. Very friendly countries. They have very good ties relationship wise, but that football, everybody wants his own country to win. I think that South Africans are backing South Africans and the fans are going to root for them. So there is advantage. South Africa has very big advantage against Nigeria. If you are playing at home, you must make use of your home advantage. And indeed, if you do not make use of it, then that is when we talk about offset. If Nigeria offsets South Africa, believe me, I think that Nigeria will pick the ticket ahead of South Africa.
Yeah. So what are the key strengths and weaknesses should Bafana Bafana focus on to maneuver Nigeria? And who are your standout players actually on both teams?
Okay, I will start with Nigeria. As in the Nigerians, absolutely. Shime is ruled out. That's the number one key player for Nigeria. Ademola Lookman is a second one, but Ademola Lookman, we have also seen during the transfer window the problem he has had with his club, and that was very evident in the match in Uyo against Rwanda. You know, he was not thoroughly, the same person that we used to see. But then we believe or pray that perhaps in the game on Tuesday that the Ademola Lookman that we see, destroying very big players, opposition defenders, will rise up to bear. There is also Simon Moses. Moses plays his game in Paris, and, he's one player that defenders dread, because of his stability on the ground. He gains more advantage than very tall defenders. And by the time he fends and dances left and right, he confuses more players, and then he's there to, give passes to so many people. And I've seen Alex Iwobi, coming to Fulham, and his game changing. We saw even against the game against Rwanda, what he did. He tried so many things, and of course, so many unexpected shots. But the credit must be given to the Rwandan goalkeeper, who did almost everything. Even at the time that the goalkeeper had injury, he had to manage, for the sake of his country. To me, that was the most outstanding player against in the game against Nigeria. That goalkeeper was very good, and indeed, I think that he will be a pride, for all Africans. And those are the players in Nigeria. Tebu for South Africa will not be. I don't know if he will be playing, because he has a nose for goals, and he displays his attacker, with the eye of an eagle. He has always proved that, and of course he has always been a thorn on the flesh of Nigerians. What again? South Africa is a very fine goalkeeper, and we see that. Is also one of the reasons, he stabilizes the team, from his advantage position in the goalkeeping position. He directs the defenders. And that's just one aspect of goalkeeping, that when you have a goalkeeper who talks, who organizes his defense, and of course who allows them to dangers and where to block, definitely that will make a team. Those are just the people that I just could just remember in the South African team. But all I know is that unlike the Nigerian team, where there are very, star-studded players, playing in very big clubs around the world, the South African team, they have one thing, they play as a team. And to me, that is the heart of football. When you play a team, it is a very difficult thing for any opposition to break you.
Yeah. Can you just paint us a picture on, what will actually happen if Bafana Bafana loses? Just paint us a picture on those group standings.
If Bafana Bafana lose?
Yes, or if Nigeria loses as well.
Yeah, if Bafana Bafana lose, I must say that there will be an earthquake sort of celebration out here in Nigeria. Nigerians are sitting on the edge, I must admit.
Yeah.
So many people have already written them off after seeing the game. Very uninteresting, uninspiring, very boring game where the players' stamina could not hold them. Physically, the Nigerians were not fit against Rwanda. So many people have written them off. But there are so many optimists, people who cannot give up trusting, believing in the players. And if indeed it happens that Nigeria overcomes South Africa on Tuesday, I think the government might even declare a public holiday so that Nigerians can celebrate. So that's the only, I must tell you, that's the only thing. If you ask me, I'm a Nigerian, and if there is anything that unites Nigerians, it is football. And we have seen over time that women footballers are the ones that are bringing honors to the country instead of men. Not only in football, in all aspects, we have seen basketball in the Tigers, we have seen the Tigers themselves fumble, and we have seen the Super Falcons, winning and winning and winning. Once women are involved, they do so well, but then the men have really, taken the back bench. So, all expectations the Super Eagles, if they can do the impossible by beating South Africa, to me, it's a mountain to climb. And if, on the other hand, Bafana wins, I think that everybody will take consolation in the fact that the Super Eagles did not start the race early. And of course, South Africa has labored. And I think for somebody, when you labor, you should enjoy your labor. South Africans have labored. They have put almost everything, both blood and everything, into the game. And for them to have acquired all those points, 16 points, I think the South Africans deserve to pick that ticket, for the World Cup.
Yeah, and just actually before I let you go, can you analyze probably the, potential impact of coaching decisions such as, player selection and substitutions on the outcome of the matches?
Yeah, the coaches play very, very important rules, rules that the ordinary fans do not see or understand. That's why in the appointment of coaches, you see that so many people, so many countries, even clubs, go for renowned coaches. And I've pointed out earlier, that Hugo Broos, to me is one of the outstanding coaches, a man that reads and understands the game. He knows where to plug in. Any place that is leaking, he knows where to plug it. And of course, he has that charisma. That's one other thing that stands out for coaches. If your coach do not have charisma, you might not be able to influence the players. The players themselves, they want somebody who has a record, somebody who has done something before, that they can look up to and respect him. Unfortunately, the Nigerian team do not have that. Eric Kell, without necessarily, bringing him down, as an African coach, has not, his credentials do not match, his coaching the Super Eagles. The Super Eagles are bigger, for his career, and he's struggling to bring himself far with the players, because the Nigerian players are very, very arrogant, I must admit it, and Nigerians generally are show-off people. If you do not have what it takes, it's difficult for you to control the Nigerian players. Eric Kell do not have what it takes, even against Augustine Eguavoy, former coach who is now technical director of the Nigeria Football Federation. Eric Kell's credentials does not in any way match that of Eguavoy. And I think when you do not have that, you lack respect. And when you lack respect, the players will not totally submit to you. So that is next thing that is going to play a very big role. But as it is now, players are putting, all those guys' team, down, and everybody is concentrating in trying to qualify for the World Cup, because the World Cup is a dream for every player. And if indeed that Nigeria do not qualify for this World Cup, look at the generation of star players who are not going to go to the World Cup. That's going to be a very big minus for them. And I think that's the motivating factor for both Bafana and the Super Eagles. I think that players that so much desire it, will be the ones that will get it.
Apologies on that. Just to rephrase my question, talking about players being able to, win, the match. Well, Nigeria and South Africa, there is a bit of a rivalry between those two matches. Do you think that after the match, the teammates will be able to unite again?
Yes, indeed. The players are professionals. All the players are professionals. The players in South Africa and the players in, Nigeria. Because whatever divides them is the tension, the competition. Everybody wants to win. And of course, during that competitive...
Apologies,
Hello?
continue.
Can you hear me?
You can continue, Tony.
Yeah, I was just talking about the competition. I was just talking about the rivalry. As in, yes, indeed, there is absolute rivalry between Nigeria and South Africa. The players are all professionals. As professionals, they put in everything. And once that is done, despite the fact whoever wins, whoever loses, put that aside and then, come together to shake and acknowledge, the victory of other persons. So that is what it is. But before the game, that's exactly what the fans do not understand. For the fan that is sitting on the bench, watching, clamoring for his team to win, he might not have that professional attitude, that sportsmanship in acknowledging and, of course, coming together after the game. And, of course, in a team, in a competition, one team is meant to win, another is meant to lose. So these are professional players. Once they play, it will be biting on them that they have lost. But at the end, they must show professionalism, they must show sportsmanship, they must come and hug, and of course extend their hand of fellowship to the team that is victorious.
Yeah, and also, as a journalist, we've seen obviously that a lot of people are actually, activated and excited on this match on social media. So what role, in your perspective, what role does social media actually play in shaping the narrative around this rivalry, and how will fans be able to engage with each other on the teams actually?
Yeah, you do not follow the social media. If you are a sportsman and, of course, you have sportsmanship spirit, you do not follow the social media. Social media, it's just like pouring fuel into fire. Those are the ones, that, they just pour a lot of sentiment to bear. They bring up a lot of things and make you and your opponent look as an enemy. It's football, it's competition. There is absolutely nothing for anybody to die for. The social media people, they are the ones that ignite a lot of rivalry and a lot of hate. They brought a lot of things that nobody should even think of. I do not listen to them, and also I know that most footballers are advised not to, be centered on their social media handles. Because these fans, for them, they do not have anything to lose. All they want is just followership. Some people intentionally, go to ignite a lot of things, bring up a lot of hate, so that so many other people will follow them. Some do it for selfish reasons, because they know that the number of people that follow them will also determine the amount of money that they make. But then this is football, it is sport. Ordinarily, before now, sport is just something that engenders unity. It's just people, because of rivalry and everybody wants to be the winner. There must be a winner, there must be a loser. Social media, to me, people should not depend or listen or read or take everything to heart, that they read in the social media. They're not the ones that are playing. The players are all friends. At the end of every match, you will see them exchange jerseys and exchange numbers. They know themselves. So we should not, go out of our way just because of the fact that some people are igniting a lot of tensions, in their social media handle. That to me, it's not in the spirit of sportsmanship.
Yeah, and also I'm just curious. It's a highly anticipated match, between the two teams. And just in your view, how are the players actually preparing this whole match mentally?
Yeah, after yesterday's game, there was a lot of sober reflections. After the players had dinner, they all met. The captain of the Super Eagles, Prudence Makhubalo, of course, himself was substituted. Nobody expected that Prudence Makhubalo, the most valuable player at the last Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire, Dijon, could be substituted. That shows you the anxiety, the tension, and of course the spirit behind Eric Chair. He wants success. He wants to succeed with Nigeria. After that, they met yesterday, and the players themselves agreed, that they should allow the coach to take absolute control of the game, not minding who is substituted. So that shows you the spirit of unity, that the players, everybody wants to succeed. So it's not about individualism. So if you think you're a very big player, there could be a younger player that has a lot of vim and vitality, burning to give his best, in the match. They all agreed that whoever the coach selects should be the one that will carry on and play for Nigeria. So if there is that unity, there is that love among themselves, they have realized, that the World Cup is slipping out from them. So the players themselves must always come together. Even in the Bafana team, I must tell you that the players themselves, even when they sleep and wake up and think about the match. You know what it is, representing a country like, the Rainbow Nation. It's a privilege. It's just an honor for you to be there, to represent the country. And of course, that also, imagine South Africa qualifying for the World Cup. That instantly, pushes the players into stardom. They become heroes. They become icons. And of course, for the rest of their life, people will refer them as World Cup players. It's not something that comes easy. And that's why you see so many players, shed a lot of sweat and blood, for them to make it and then become a World Cup player.
Yeah. And also the final question, before I let you go, score prediction?
I'm a Nigerian. I want Nigeria to win. I want Nigeria to win, but I must tell you, if you put it on a scale, I think South Africa has more advantages of winning than Nigeria. So if Nigeria wins, that would be a miracle. It will be a joy to me, but then I give it advantage to Bafana.
Yeah, and if Bafana wins, then also it will be a miracle, in my view. Well, that's Tony Ubani just giving us some analysis on the upcoming sports with Bafana and Nigeria just coming through on next week. Well, it is a highly anticipated show, event or match to expect. Let's take a short break.
Africa at Play, beautifully, happily marrying sports and music.
Eternal Africa.
Greatness, DJ Natil. Fonya kitleti muke, omukele baradarite. Uskili magutsi, uskili. Fonya kitleti muke, omukele baradarite. Uskili magutsi, uskili. Skanju the one around you. Do unyaga chango. Do malemo bantu. Force look at my rankles. Tashunila. Kasta sera ikuzwa. Outside la litoga ituba. Lisi la fuga. Ngo to bafe. No magetse koma lobe. Body on che. Ataro do mo ide pepe dema. Do ido ma do. Kasingo de. Apato potere. Bejawa ma she. I don't wanna hear shit. I don't wanna hear shit. You did with another man. The way your body do it. I know like I'm gonna see you with another man. I don't wanna hear shit. I don't wanna hear shit. You did with another man. The way your body do it. I know that I wanna see you with nobody. Don't wanna see you with nobody. DJ Natil. DJ Natil. Baby, this your body, no be yeah. I tell you, say you fine, you know they care. Me, I know you done it. I see you with the surgery. Anyway, me, I know go care. Not only you, I be one tight well. So don't waste time, baby, my rose. Ooh yeah, cause if you I want, if you are the one, go. I go prove my love. I go risk it all. I don't wanna hear it. I don't wanna hear it. You there with another man. The way your body rotate. I know like I'm gonna see with another man. I don't wanna hear it. I don't wanna hear it. You
music, love culture, love life. Then you will love Channel Africa. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
Agumuzi Mapondera Wakudu Chimambe Daliton Chipamela Wabi Soja Babale Baba Namai Mushawadu Washato Mameba Wanda Adijasi Waseketo Chesta Kumacha Nayawe Nyangani Baba Namai Mushawadu Washato Mameba Wanda Adijasi Waseketo Tabi Tabi Hoka Teraimuko Wamekurwana nefungo Sekuru sanda Kutsakatika neniko Uyo Kumbura umatiamento Teraimuko Wamekurwana nefungo Sekuru sanda Kutsakatika neniko Oh Matiamento Webi Kanapane akashinu, akaromba chikwabo, ungabune pachana, chidzororo kumwene wacho. Zorena, kwesera, ukutamuka. Kanapane akashinu, akaromba chikwabo, ungabune pachana, chidzororo kumwene wacho. Chinopetse dzidza. Kuti chai! Tagenera ko Badayama Nizukuru Rui Oh Ande Sibuka Ande Sibuka Ande Sibuka Ande Yamali Karuru Mungu baba Nzambe baba nisaidie, tufanye kazi mzuri sana, tufanye kazi mzuri sana, hadi wangalie pa kutembea, utembea mzuri sana munjila, utenda nyumbani, haleluya, digia, haleluya, Scotland Matubu Zinangoni tabusa bandiri kubanenguo Zinangoni tabusa bandiri kubanenguo Akaniko alakutipetesa Akaniko alakutipetesa Akaniko ativa verero Akaniko ativa verero Inga kose yaphinda mubamelo ingakose yaphinda mubamelo chingachikwambo zorera chingachikwambo zorera Scotland Zvinangoni tambusa bandiri kuva nenguva Zvinangoni tambusa bandiri kuva nenguva Anganiko ana kuti petse Mokiso Anganiko ana kuti petse Anganiko ativa varero Anganiko ativa varero Ingakose yapinda mubamelo Ingakose yapinda mubamelo Chingachikwambo Engineer Mogiso Asiswapa ere Negudita uyawo Vura speaker Webi pambade Ausimuro marugu imbawu Speaker Vura moto Kuitama wasi Usinga ya putinga Fura Mogiso Fura Si Oh Kei kudaru Oh mama Rushaya Si Taura Matsu Monipo ipapo Simusa ima uko ukutoni Upo kuseruko Simusa ima uko tizo Tizo uko Sigi Fiza Simira Simba Bambare Ushadi Baba Jamus Palucemo Si Extra Bassa Ipapo Musaya vete Su Si Ya Coco Kasamba Ande Okay 1 2 Simba Shumba Bulawayo Yagoni Suro Choba Si Dalito Chibabela Sala Brasto Okay, 1, 2, tap, Sukina, au, kata, sa, Paluchemu, Ushandi Baba. Abuja. Toke. Boss Fiza Tibina Timba. Babare. Darlington Chipadera. Shumba Bulamayo.
What are the sports legends up to? Let's find out from our legend of the day on Africa at Play with Neto, N-E-T-O, Chamane.
It's 52 minutes past 3 towards the last hour, rather, of the show. I'm Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the great Neto Chimane, and just talking about football again. Actually, the much anticipated match next week, rather on Tuesday. We are forecasting, or rather seeing, two teams who will be against each other, Nigeria and also Bafana Bafana. And also, do you really think, as a listener, that, whether if it's going to be Bafana Bafana or Nigeria winning or taking this shot? Well, just to unpack more onto today's conversation, I am joined by the legendary Aaron Mokoena, also known as Ace or also Mbazo, just who will be taking us through this conversation and also his insights on what is expected to be on to this match. Welcome to Africa at Play, Aaron.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Prue. Let me greet the listeners and thank you for having me.
Yes, and just to unpack more on this match, what are your thoughts, most especially with the win with Lesotho?
Look, Sis Prue, we on 16 points. We on 16 points. We on the road. The boys are doing so well.
Have we lost Aaron? Okay, it seems like we are having a bit of technical glitches on Aaron's side. We will be back after this short break.
Love music, love culture, love life. Then you will love Channel Africa.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
It's just gone 55 minutes past 3, and we're still continuing with the discussions on the much anticipated match with Nigeria versus Bafana Bafana. And you were just, explaining on, the expectations and also the previewing of the match against Lesotho.
Yes, I'm sorry about that technical problem. I'm driving, so I was saying. Going to beat Nigeria. I'm very proud of the boys. I'm proudly South African. I'm the number one fan for Bafana Bafana. Beating Lesotho, for me, it was to say we're on the road. We there not to add numbers. We there actually to make sure that we stay in number one position. Come Nigeria, we are ready. I played Nigeria before. I think I had about 2 games. We drew one in Abuja, and we won one against that was Mandela Challenge then, and then I was the captain, so I lifted the trophy. I know the feeling of beating Nigeria, and I'm sure the boys are looking forward to. Our captain have said it. Ronwen have said it that we beat Nigeria. We have 1 foot in America World Cup. So I am quite confident. I'm quite confident. I mean, against Lesotho, we saw a different team that Coach Hugo Bruce and the technical staff have put together. So we are ready. I mean, we still have we have the depth, we have the bench. And normally we didn't use a lot of them. We didn't use the captain of the 2000s. We didn't use the Siabonga, our centre back. So yeah, I'm quite confident that we have to go out there. We will go out there and beat Nigeria.
Yeah. And now with your confidence that you've actually elaborated, who are your standout players?
Look, for me, since Prue, I always like to stand on the fence. I love all the boys. More especially, I know Uti, at times we look at the players that score goals, but for me, it's where it starts. Our captain, Ronwen, he's been fantastic. He's been absolutely incredible. Kota, he showed what he can do for the nation. He showed that now he's an international player, and now he rubs shoulders with the best. I always say, to be the best, you got to rub shoulders with the best and bring that experience back home. Kota has been absolutely fantastic. So everyone played a role. I mean, I always say it's not a one-team show. You have to be able to, once you get an opportunity, you got to understand that you're representing your family, you're representing yourself, and you're representing the country. The country comes first. Everyone, for me, I think has been stand out.
Yeah. Just take us back to memory lane, your experience in playing for the national team.
Yeah, it's been incredible. It's been incredible. I always say that right now I'm busy with the Aaron Mokoena Wednesday School League. Because I feel that we have to spend energies, we have to spend resources, monies in development. And with me, actually, I've been so fortunate that I was spotted from school, and I have traveled the world. I've been the one of the youngest to represent the country. I have been the most kept. So for me, the experience has been amazing. I mean, I don't regret any. I know we have 10 minutes, but I can speak the whole day. But the experience of wearing the arm belt as the youngest player ever, the youngest captain ever, the most kept, the experience has been incredible, since Prudence. No one can buy that. I have been fortunate. I've been loyal to my country. So the experience has been amazing. I mean, I played with the best. I played with the Thierry Henrys. We have beat the France. I played in the 2 World Cups. 1 World Cup that I think it will take us years really to have a World Cup again in Africa. Being part of that and being the captain of the host nation, it's been amazing experience. I mean, yes, people are saying I have never scored so many goals, but I think Spiro Chabalala can tell that the goal that he scored, the interception was from me, passing to Kagiso Dikgasho, and Dikgasho seeing Spiro Chabalala. Only 3 touches, let's say 3 players that have touched the ball to the goal. So it's been an amazing experience, amazing journey, to be honest, as Prudence.
Yeah, it seems like with you unpacking on what happened rather in the previous years, it's been actually a while for, the team not representing for the World Cup. And just tell us on what will it actually mean for, Bafana winning the World Cup as well as qualifying rather for the World Cup.
Look, since Prudence has been a while, I think it's what 15 years for us. It's been long gone. So for me, I think for the nation, it will mean a lot to be part of that. America World Cup in Canada. and Mexico. Look, I always say, I'm going to repeat this again. To be the best, you got to rub shoulders with the best. And where do you find the best? You find the best in the World Cup, in the African Cup of Nations. So it's going to mean a lot for the nation. I mean, I work for SAFA right now. I felt that I am the product of SAFA. As much as we know that people say a lot about SAFA, but I'm part and parcel of SAFA. Our under 17 have qualified for the World Cup. Our under 20 boys have qualified for the World Cup, and they have won the Africa Cup of Nations. And COSAFA, our girls have qualified for Africa Cup of Nations. So I'm one of the scouts at SAFA. It shows that behind the scene, a lot of good things are happening. And look, it's just a matter of time. We just need to get through to we have qualified for Africa Cup of Nations, Bafana. We just need to qualify of which we are going to qualify for the World Cup. Once we're there, we don't have to be there to add numbers. I have been there. It won't be easy to win the World Cup. It's a big ask, but it is possible.
Yeah. Talking about possibility, as well as it was actually possible for, the team winning against Lesotho. Do you really think that it is possible to win against Nigeria?
Of course. I know that Nigeria, it's one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
But with the confidence that we have, with the philosophy that Coach Hugo Bruce have implemented in Bafana, look, I'm quite confident. I'm quite confident that we'll go out there and make it difficult for them. We need to get 19 points. We'll beat Nigeria. We on 19 points. For us, it's 2 games to go, and our foot will be right in the World Cup. It will be impossible. It will be impossible for us not to qualify. But this is the big game. This is the big game against the big guys. We need to show them. I mean, at the moment, they trying the tricks by telling us not to play this Tebo Mokoena because Tebo Mokoena was they just looking for that's a mind game, but for us, we just need to beat them in the field, and we are going to beat them in the field.
Yeah. Talking about beating them in the field, we've seen that there will be an absence of Victor Osimhen. Do you think that it will actually affect Nigeria's strategy in winning against Bafana?
I am so happy, Prudence. I'm so happy that the big guy is not playing.
Yeah.
Our boys are all back. We only obviously have few injuries. Tembazwan is not around. Modau is not around. CBC is not around. But we have depth. I mean, we have a pool of players. Hugo Bruce and his technical staff have done amazing work by having a pool of players. There are players that can always, represent the country and make sure that they bring business. I mean, you look at Mbule. Mbule, for me, I think he was one of the best against Lesotho. So injuries happen, absentees happens, but it's about when you get a call up, what you do. We don't mind about players that Nigeria will bring, but for us, we have players that it's our home game, by the way. It's our home game, so it's a must win for us.
Yeah, and also, can you just tell us more on the whole of just South African football that has just evolved over the years, and what excitement or memorable excitement do you have in mind at this point?
Look, Prudence, I would say going back to when I played in NSL, National Soccer League then. Right now, it's a big difference. The involvement, it's been absolutely amazing. I think, the chairman, Ivan Koza, and his PSL committee have brought monies of funds in the PSL. There are a lot of sponsors. Our league is one of the best league in the world. More especially when Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs are playing, it becomes one of the best derby in the world. So it's been absolutely a great league to watch, difficult league to play at. When I retired, I played for Bidvest Vets, and I could see that the boys. I've been so fortunate to work with the likes of Carlos Pereira. He always said we just need to understand our strengths. He said two things. Technically, we're amazing, and we are quick. Yes, I mean we don't have big guys like me, the likes of Sean Bartlett, the likes of McFish, Lucas Raleigh. We don't have that size of players, and the late Raul, Phil Masinga. We don't have that height at the moment. But two things that we have, it's players that are technically sound, players that are amazing in terms of the pace and the quickness.
Yeah, and previously you've actually spoken on the Aaron Mokoena Wednesday Schools League. Can you just break that down on what does it feature, the regions and also the schools?
For me, Sis Prue, it was really to encourage the kids to come to school, and something is happening. It has to happen at school. I mean, I was spotted playing Wednesday School League. So for me, it was to say to the kids, a healthy mind, and it goes together with a healthy body, and for these kids to stay away from these nasty things, your alcohol, your drugs. It's because actually they are vulnerable. They are exposed in wrong things. But sport bring people together, and for me, going to schools was to address few things. One, to say anything it is possible. Once you play in a league environment in school or in schools, you can be spotted. Talking from experience, and of course, I mean academic and sport. For me, they go together. I have traveled the world. I played in Amsterdam, Ajax Amsterdam, and two things that I had to worry about was to go to school and to play the sport that I like. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was really to help what the Minister of Sport have actually alluded to say, bring sport to schools. For me, it was to say, with my NPO, the non-profitable organization, Aaron Mokoena Sports Academy, let me join ventures. We have an MOU with Gauteng Sports, Arts and Recreation and Education, but I wanted to start at home. So we in Sidibeng region for now, but the bigger picture for me is to help all the provinces and to help those kids that really want to get themselves in football. I mean, I always say sport can change lives. I bought my mom a house with my first contract from where? Starting from school. So this thing, it is possible. I'm from the humble beginning, and here I am today. I'm the coach. I mean, I'm doing a license, and it was to say from the humble beginning with a mother or single parent to travel the world, to become the captain of the country, to become the captain of two clubs in overseas, to play in FA Cup final in the UK. I've ticked the boxes, but now it's not about me. It's not about Mrs. Prudence. It's about now, what do I leave behind, which is a legacy, and the legacy that will help these kids to help themselves and to help their families and the country, really.
Yeah, so many achievements as a footballer here in South Africa. Well, if you could just stay with me, I'll be back with you right after this short break.
zochitika ndi madaphiri kamlondola wa zochitika pena paliponse.
vuto lakusowa kwa simenti likupitirira ku Malawi ngakhale kuti boma linapanga mgwirizano ndi makampani ena aku Zambia kuti azibweretsa mdziko lo simenti. Nduna ya zamalonda Vitumbuko Mumba yadzudzula makampani ena kuti akubisa simenti ngakhale kuti boma likumawapatsa ndalama yakunja kuti akagule kunja ndi kubweretsa simenti ku Malawi. Ndipo George Muhango tili naye pa line apa kuti atifotokozere zambiri. George, uli bwanji komanso vuto la simenti linamba liti?
Inetu ndili bwino, ndipo vuto la simenti ku Malawi kuno linayamba miyezi itatu yapitayi. Sakupezeka mu mashop amene amagulisiramo komanso kuti makampani amene akupanga simenti amene akupanga ochepa kwambiri, monga modza kunena kuti ndalama yakunja kuti ayitanise katundu amene amathandizira kuti apange simenti amene ikusoweka.
Zochitika ndi madaphiri lolemba mpaka lachisanu pa nthawi ya 7 koloko kufikira 8 koloko madzulo pa Channel Africa. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
It's 12 minutes past 4, and we are actually at the last hour of the show on Africa at Play with me, Prudence Makhubalo, and I am standing in for the great Neto Chimane, and I'm actually in conversation with Aaron Mokoena, also known as Mbazo or Aches, back in the days. Do they actually call you those names? Actually, I'm just interested in knowing.
Says Prudence, I'm so handsome to be called Mbazo or the X. That's scary. I'm such a humble person. Yes, I mean I didn't like the name Mbazo back then.
Yeah.
But it stuck by me. I mean, the reason why I didn't like it, I saw the picture Mbazo, the real Mbazo from Orlando Pirates, and he was too black. And he was huge. But I guess when you don't like the name, that's why it stuck by you. I mean, they say I was aggressive. For me, because I love the sport. I love football. I had to leave my mark. At times we don't talk a lot about defenders. We talk about the end product, which is the strikers that are scoring goals. But I mean, this name actually have stuck by me, and I enjoyed it. And overseas, they used to call me the X. Like at home in South Africa and Africa, they used to call me Mbazo. And it stuck by me. It's Prudence. I think it says it all. Why Mbazo? I mean, they said I was really Xing people. I mean, I remember in my career, I only broke, two players' legs because I wanted this more. I had that fire in the belly. I still have at the moment. The bigger picture for me now, it's to finish my CAF-A license and see myself in Bafana. Who knows? Maybe as an assistant coach or head coach. But it's been absolutely a great journey as Prudence, to be honest.
Yeah, and actually, before the break, you were talking about the Aaron Mokoena Wednesday Schools League. I was just wondering, are the girls' schools actually also included?
Yes. Prudence, what we've done actually, it's we needed to start. For me, I this thing has been always my plan and my dream. I mean, back then when our minister, our premier Panyaza Lissufi, when he was the minister of sports, arts and recreation, I had a chat with him, and he loved my idea. But because I was focused in few things, I wanted to get my my things, your coaching badges right, and I was involved in SAFA. I was involved in coaching at Cape Town City back then. I couldn't start, so for now I wanted to start. And to start, I'm sponsoring the under 13, 15, 17, 9 and 19s of the boys, but the plan is to have the girls as well. But with the under 13s, 15 and 17, we do have the girls as well. So for me, it was, I'm spending from the bottom of my heart and from my own pocket. But because this is an NPO, hopefully people will see what I'm doing right and will support me to support these kids.
Yeah, I mean, like you've achieved a lot actually as a former, football player here in South Africa and also overseas. Do you see yourself actually also being the head coach for the Bafana Bafana?
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. I mean, I admire Coach Hugo Bruce. He done with what actually he had to do. I mean, his memorandum was to say, get us through to African Cup of Nations, win us African Cup of Nations, get us to the World Cup, and he achieved that. And he said it that after 2026 World Cup, he wants to retire and go back to Belgium and spend time with the family. So for me, I'm really watching him with the red eyes to say immediately when he leaves, I will be putting my CV in. I will be putting my the application in, and of course, I mean, that our NEC. National Executive Committee at SAFA, our technical committee at SAFA, our president, the decision makers, Mari. For me, it was to say I am available. But it's important actually to equip myself, which I'm now busy with. January, I'll be holding my CAF-A license, and there won't be any questions really. But I'm praying that I can get that opportunity of being an assistant coach or the head coach.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like I've seen on other countries, males also being, coaches to, a football team a female rather football team. Would you see yourself rather also being a coach for Banyana Banyana?
As Prudence, I'm actually working with the girls at the High Performance Center. So we have an academy. SAFA have an academy in Pretoria University. Those are my girls. They're under 15.
Yeah.
We recently were part of the Engine Tournament Challenge in Max Park, and we were playing against Hollywood clubs, and these girls are only 15 and 17, and they came. We came back with bronze, and it's so encouraging for me. Honestly, yes, it's important to have women being the coaches of women or of girls, but for me, if opportunity arise to be, look, the doctor, the Banyana coach, she's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And to place her, it will absolutely be a mountain to climb. But she has done a lot, and I know right now that a lot of countries and clubs they want her to be the coach. But for me, I'm saying I am available. Any position as a head coach, I am available. As I said, I will be receiving my my qualification, and I'm available.
Yeah, you're available. And just before I actually let you go, score predictions, and also, do you actually touch base to your former football players, or rather your former teammates, actually?
To start with the first question, we had a clean sheet against Lesotho. Against Nigeria will be 2-0 for South Africa. Period. Yes, I do touch base. There's a boy, actually, Luke just signed a contract with Portsmouth, which is the former football club that I used to play for. Yes, he's not a former player that I played with, but he reached out and I gave him a lot of advices. Yes, I do actually. I work closer with David Nyati. David Nyati is now the assistant coach of the under-17 national team that is going to Zambia for COSAFA. I spend hours with him. At the office, I do meet with Midnight Express, our assistant coach at Bafana, Helben Kelele. Now and then, actually, I do meet up with, work together at SABC as pundit with Dr. Kumalo 16V. Lucas as well, Lucas Radebe, we do meet now and then. But yes, I do actually, Delron Barkley as well, we actually doing the pundit at SABC English Premier League. So yes, I mean, Itumeleng Kune as well, we do meet at SABC, Jabu Pule. Recently we met a couple of times. So yes, I do actually meet with the guys.
Yeah, all right. That was the voice of Aaron Mokoena, the legendary footballer for Bafana Bafana, and also one of the founders, rather, of the Aaron Mokoena Schools League. And we will be back after the short break.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
A walking mind, tudo nosso é a osso, nunca tem ninguém. E só inveja de que mal faz, que faço, vou ficar assim. Deus e o som que tá julgar, a descodificar vosso mapincupu. E esse é fenômeno na Guiné-Bissau. O tempo paciência, não te esqueceu. O dedo de games canamore, e canamore. O dedo de games canamore, e canamore. E na tardana, e na lata, que diabos la peba come muito. Chora, minha mãe pra não llorar, porque não quer ser a nós tudo nascimos. Ali na chora minha mãe cuidou, o tempo passa saboreço eu vai viver. Oh mãe, dente games canamore. Peba come muito e canamore não e canamore e tempo de você sentir a pena é só hora de você sentir a dor de nós. A boca e mãe e tudo nosso é nosso, nunca tem ninguém. E só inveja de que mal faz, que faço, ou fica assim. Deus e o som que eu tô a julgar, a descodificar vosso mapincupu. E esse é fenômeno na Guiné-Bissau. O tempo sensa, não te esqueceu. O dedo de games canamore, e canamore. O dedo de games canamore, e canamore. E na tardana, e na lata, que diabos la peba come muito e canamore não. E canamore, e tempo
And that beautiful soundtrack is from Guinea-Bissau, Kanamuri. And then it's just gone 7 minutes to past 4. And it's actually the last hour of the show. And actually going through this topic for today, we are actually talking about community development in sports. And our correspondent, not Tony rather, but we do have Namuchana Lukezo who's standing by on this.
Community sports programs plays a pivotal role in fostering social cohesion by providing opportunities for individuals from diverse backgrounds to engage in physical activity and social interaction. These programs help in breaking down social barriers, promote inclusivity, and reduce social inequalities by targeting underrepresented groups. We are asking how have various sporting codes helped in developing community sports. I have with me Mr. Richard Ngoma, who is the General Secretary, Zambia Netball Association. Mr. Ngoma, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to us. We are looking at various sporting codes. How have various sporting codes helped in developing community sports?
I think around 2018, England Netball, World Netball came to Zambia to see how best we can qualify to the 2019 World Cup. So they supported us through provision of technical personnel and equipment. Having failed to qualify, resources were still available, and one of the things they asked us to do is to evaluate and see how best we can move forward. So one of the things that we did as Zambia is that we went on a pathway to develop what is now being referred to as community hub sites. So Netball has developed community hub sites, essentially meaning that we identify athletes at the tender age, maybe 9, 8, somewhere there, allow them to train within their communities, create zones within communities, and create mini competition within those communities. After they've graduated between the ages of 12, 13, they get into the youth league that goes up to under 18. So the youth league provides an opportunity for communities to compete at inter-community level. So you have a team, for argument's sake, in Matero competing against a team in Charleston. So within the city, this allows us for reduced costs in terms of budgetary allocations for transportation to far places like Kawi for the elite teams. After they've graduated through the under 18, then there's a pathway that leads them into the elite league. So you have elite teams that poach these players, and then some of them have been employed. If you look at the under 21 that has qualified to the World Cup, they've been drawn from similar structures. So we have players that have grown in from Chibolia hub sites, Matero hub sites, Kalingalinga hub sites, into now what is being called the elite league. So after qualification last year, some of these players today have been employed by Correctional Service, Zambia Air Force, and so forth. So it actually runs along our vision of enriching lives through netball. So we provide the technical support at those hub sites. We provide the training for hub site leaders. And then this program is also running alongside sport in action activities.
Mr. Ngoma, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to us. The views of Mr. Richard Ngoma, General Secretary, Zambia Netball Association. We also sat down with Mr. Simata, former Football Association of Zambia President.
Community sports programs should play, I'm using the word should because there's an experience here in Zambia, a pivotal role in fostering social cohesion, but not only that, physical fitness, but not only that, communities having a common place to communicate, to talk to each other. Neighborhoods are built in that very fashion. So when people come together to do a community run, for instance, in the various sectors, male, female, or men, women, boys, and girls, youth, they get to mingle, and the society grows. Foundations of a society are not just based on having one common area, a geographical area where they build houses and then say they live in the same community. There are many other facets that play a role in solidifying that community and bringing about benevolence, volunteerism, love one for another. Now, the only project I remember that came, and I'm sorry to say, failed in its objectives, but maybe created other opportunities, was called a Sports for All program. It had a Norwegian inspiration or something like that. And here in Osaka, I think the most common one was in Chawama. It was meant to do exactly what you have described here, provide opportunities for individuals to diversify, to engage in physical activity and social interaction. Program wanted to help social barriers. So the framework was mass. It was mass and a spirit of just volunteerism. Unfortunately, I think it was not well launched as in the base. The people that took it over saw competition as a major goal. So, and secondly, they saw one sport, football, as the major sector. These others, mass marathons, mass programs for women, for men, for children, for everybody else did not take hold. They didn't. What we saw is a lot of soccer competition. It involved the players from the league. It involved the players from amateur and a few other players from the community who could fit in. And you see, it found an already existing program called Christmas Tournament, where teams were created within the community. So Sports for All simply fitted in. And I think that is how it even finally finds its demise. So if we are going to go for mass organized sports programs, we need to look at the leadership. It must be people who do not have other ambitions other than getting that kind of thing created. It must be people who will want to see participation first and not competition. It is not necessarily a talent identification program, because if you turn it into that, how do you talent identify a 40-year-old woman, a 40-year-old man? Their opportunity is lost. We may have to figure it as age grouping. You find what they call madaras. They're young men playing in the team, they're out running the old men and thinking like they are stars. You can always become a Messi in the middle of 55-year-olds. They are not as fast as you are, and they may not be as proficient on the ball. You become like you're a star. But all these things should be watched, and everybody is encouraged at different age groupings. Then wholesale also can be done. Like if you're going to go for a marathon, you can't really say we're going to have a marathon of women. Maybe you can as a start to encourage the women to come out and go for a 5-kilometer run, a 1-kilometer run, things like that. And then as it begins to catch with everybody, you can then make it mixed or even keep it in the sexes or gender. But it takes a lot of work and a lot of attitude change for that to happen. Unfortunately, you find some people think it's an opportunity to campaign for themselves as councillors, to campaign for themselves as football administrators. The motives which have nothing to do with it. Before long, the whole thing collapses. Secondly, you have to involve the natural leadership. What I'm saying is that in any community you go into, they are what I'll put in inverted commas, village headmen. People who have been in that community for a long time, and they are actually looked up to by the community. They are usually councillors in the community issues, involve the religious side of it, the churches that are in that community, involve the schools that are in that community, because they usually have facilities, sports grounds, in order for some activities to take place. Involve the city council in the different communities. If I was to pick one, is to pick the right leadership for such a program. And it should be on voluntary basis. One of the key spirits that we have lost in our communities is volunteerism. People tend to want to be paid for any little thing that they are asked to do, even when they know it helps themselves, it helps the community. That spirit seems to have gone out of the window.
The views of Mr. Simata. What are the views of Wes Mazunda, sports analyst?
It's very challenging here. The situation in Zambia is that the picture is not so very good. Developing community sports, a lot hasn't really been done for many sporting codes, to be honest. I think mostly the one that should be topping should be two sports mainly, maybe football and netball. But the challenge for these two should be the sporting facilities themselves, like the infrastructure that they use. But football is readily available because everywhere you go in the communities, you'll find dusty pitches and teams will be gathered there, mostly grassroots. There'll be lower division teams playing there. It's very common. And for netball as well, in communities you have it, but the infrastructure leaves much to be desired. A lot needs to be done. For other sporting codes, well, we have a big facility in OIDC Zambia, one facility that was built by the International Olympic Committee a long time ago. It should be about 10 years now. So that helps in a way because a lot of community teams converge and that plays different sporting codes. It's actually done a lot of good for the sport in this country, in Zambia, because a lot of other sports can come and compete there. You have boxing, baseball, tech ball, a lot of these sporting facilities, football as usual, netball. So we have a program known as, it's sponsored the grassroots league known as the Toolings Challenge for young athletes. It's really helping to develop sports in communities, also encourage a lot of youths to be in sport and be kept active in sport. And actually it's also helped, come to think of it, with the development of sport at junior level when it comes to international competitions, at least starting from that level, and they go on to breakthrough even in senior events. And we have athletes, at least they are role models who've come from this kind of arrangement, from this same program at the OIDC Zambia, that have been successful throughout. And it's a good concept, and if this can be replicated throughout the country, have these facilities dotted all over the country in all the 10 provinces of our country, it can be very good. I think that's the greatest cry, the facility. Really, I think that is what community sport needs. Otherwise, the heart is there, the youths are there, they want to participate in sports, the resource, or the youths themselves want to be in sport, but it's the facilities that are really a challenge. But the love and support and people to train them, really eager and want to invest in these sporting codes. And it can actually do a country a lot of good, because obviously this is where you find the stars for the future. Thank you very much.
Wezi Mazunda talking to us on our program today. We were looking at community sports and we were asking how have various sporting codes helped in developing community sports. This was our topic today. We had Mr. Richard Ngoma, Mr. Smata, and Wezi Mazunda, sports analyst for Channel Africa Sports. Namchana from Zambia.
kamlondola wazochitika pena paliponse.
Vuto lakusowa kwa simenti likupitirira ku Malawi ngakhale kuti boma linapanga mgwirizano ndi makampani ena aku Zambia kuti azibweretsa mdziko lo simenti. Nduna ya zamalonda Vitumbuko Mumba yadzudzula makampani ena kuti akubisa simenti ngakhale kuti boma likumawapatsa ndalama yakunja kuti akagule kunja ndi kubweretsa simenti ku Malawi. Ndipo George Muhango otili naye pa line apa kuti atifotokozere zambiri. George, uli bwanji komanso vuto la simenti linamba liti?
Inetu ndili bwino, ndipo vuto la simenti ku Malawi kuno linayamba myezi itatu yapitayi. Sakupezeka mu mashop amene amagulisiramo, komanso kuti makampani amene akupanga simenti amene akupanga ochepa kwambiri, monga modza kunena kuti ndalama yakunja kuti ayitanise katundu amene amathandizira kuti apange simenti amene ikusoweka.
Zochitika ndi lolemba mpaka lachisanu pa nthawi ya 7 koloko kufikira 8 koloko madzulo pa Channel Africa. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
And it's just got 41 minutes past 4, and I'm Prudence Makhubalo standing in for the great Neto Chimane. And it's actually the last hour, that's if you've just joined us. And into football news now, the Zambian football has entered a new era following the signing of a historic 5-year deal with $5 million broadcast partnership between the Zambian Premier League and Topstar Communications.
Yeah, I think the scrum contest was fairly even. They got upper hand sometimes. I think the maul, we were pretty static. I don't think they really got a try from a maul, so I think that was pretty. But I think the ruck, as you say, rightly so, was the ball was always bouncy, fast, getting out a little bit messy. You can actually say, or maybe say it's because of the weather, but New Zealand playing exactly the same weather with the same ball. And their ball was much more steady, and you can't just pinpoint that on Grant. You know, it's the way the ball comes out. And I don't think they did anything illegal there. We just didn't control it well enough. So I think you're spot on. If we give them, I think 14 points, 2 easy tries. I mean, Malcolm was seeing a tackle, and he played so well all over. I think Willie will accept. I think all of us can accept. There was a weird thing what he tried to do at that tackle there. I'm not sure what he tried to do. And the guy just got up and scored the try. So if you're 14 points down and then it starts raining and you're chasing the game a little bit, you're chasing your own tail. But we put ourselves in those positions. But then I thought the guys that we brought energy, brought some fight. I think it was maybe the right thing to have a 5-3 split because the 3 backline players that came on really had a good impact. I thought Kobus settled down the breakdown. I thought Sasha really was electric when he had the ball in hand, and I thought Ethan was really good in the air for us. So, there was many things we got wrong, but mostly just giving them 14 points and then think you're going to still win. Which we almost pulled the draw out at the end, but I think it's now 10 points for New Zealand, 9 for Australia, we in Argentina on 5, so still a lot to play for next. I think they lost also 3 line-out balls, so it's not easy conditions, and we try to do plays that we think, not just winning the line-out ball for the sake of winning it and do nothing with it, because that's how New Zealand really kind of stop you from get your play going. So every now and then you chance your arms a little bit for trying getting the ball at a spot. I'm not sure. I think we lost 3. But yeah, I think they also lost 2. So it's definitely not individuals' problem. It wasn't easy conditions, and I think that they more or less struggled the same in the line-out. So it's something that we all must fix. They must fix theirs, and we must fix ours. And it's a group thing. It's definitely not just one person doing something wrong. Sometimes the call, sometimes the throw. I think they were better than us in our kicking game. I think they did it as much as we did. I think they did it much lower. You could see it was like half punts in between the fullback and the first line of defence, and that was clever, especially in the weather. And they were well prepared for our kicking game. And I think it was 2 teams that was desperate to win. I think at the end, you could see, we wouldn't have won the game if we were close to a draw. Not that there was any consolation, or I say that we played well at all. They were much better. But it was 2 teams that was desperate for wins, and I think we both went to very conservative play. Even their tries were from kicking games and one great line-out move at the back. So, and ours was like a bit of a rumble close to their try line. So I don't know if it will open up next week. If we win, they might be in 11 and we might be on 9, or we might be on 10 and they might be on 10. So it's still a crunch game and might be still just test rugby. We've got the weather wrong the whole week. We thought it was going to rain the whole week and be dry today, and it was the other way around. So let's see what the weather is like in Wellington. But we'll definitely make some changes in our team for this week. We, before this game, thought we'll go with more or less the same team next week, but we'll make a few changes. It's probably looking for positives in a performance that there were spells that were terrible, but then there were really gutsy spells. I don't think they had a lot of other scoring opportunities apart from the tries that they scored. I thought that really we just gave them maybe penalties away when we were on defense. So yes, us fighting back against the number 1 team in the world and away from home, we've got another chance next weekend. So that's something to be positive about, but that doesn't overshadow the bad things that we did in the game. But it's certainly something to build on. If we would have won, I think we would have brought it up and said, no, we beat.
That was the box coach, Rassie Erasmus, who was talking about New Zealand, who have scored the 2 early tries and kept an error-prone South Africa at bay to win a rugged arm wrestle 24-17 Saturday, and actually staying on top of the rugby championship. And into your golf news now, the Golf RSA has confirmed the 2026 South African Swing, a month-long showcase of elite amateur golf across Gauteng.
Yeah, it was a challenging game. I think the partnerships we built with the bat were important. I think the wicket wasn't actually as easy as we thought it would be. We were thinking sort of a 280 score there, and it just got easier as we batted along, and playing at Lords, there's nothing better. I would say so a little bit. Yeah, I think we just felt that Rash was on it today. He was bowling really well and the conditions suited him, so we just had to sort of suck up and see what we could get from him, and then from the other guys look to score a little bit more freely. Yeah, I actually haven't thought about those other guys, to be honest. It's just been been going well. It's obviously I bat with Tristan Stubbs at 5, who played a lot of cricket with in my younger days, and we go to the same school, so we have a really good relationship. So yeah, hopefully it can keep going the way it's gone. Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, I love playing cricket in England. Just the crowds and the energy that the crowds bring, like, there's nothing better. I feed off it. So yeah, it's been good, and long may it continue. Yeah, I was watching in bed on my iPad there on YouTube. It was nerve-wracking, but really happy for the boys, and looking forward to meeting them on finals day. The sort of selections he's making and the direction he's wanting to go with the team, he's very clear on what he wants, and there's no sort of grey area. So guys are feeling really comfortable where they are, and they know where they stand. So I think that's to start, and winning that Test Championship final has just breeded another sort of confidence in this change room, so it's good. Yeah, he's very softly spoken, but to be honest, like, I was just watching him on the field today, going about his business and captaining. Like, he's a genius in his decision making, and I learned so much today from the decisions he was making. He doesn't talk a lot, but he sort of leads with his actions, and yeah, we're lucky to have him. We have a few drinks tonight, I reckon, and then we will think about that tomorrow. But we definitely want to make it 3-0. That will be the chat, and yeah, we'll celebrate tonight and then recoup tomorrow. Well, I think it's a good question. It does get to you sometimes, but for me, I just look at it like I'm so grateful to be playing the sport as for a living. Like, so I just try sort of take every opportunity I get and try and make the most of it. So yeah, it doesn't last forever, so hopefully it can keep going. Yeah, numbers, hopefully 100 in Southampton, but to be honest, I was bleak not to get the 100 because it would have been cool to be on the board, but yeah, it is what it is. We won, so happy days.
And that was the voice of Matthew Brisker, who has actually become the first batsman in one-day international history to start his career with 5 consecutive scores of 50 or more, as South Africa beat England by just 2 runs for a series-clinging win at the Lords. And just coming up rather on the show in the first hour, rather, at 5 p.m. on Mixed Vibrations, I'm actually joined by Jolino Nsungu. So what's coming up on Mixed Vibrations?
Bonjour Prudence, eh bien sur Mixed Vibrations, nous aurons une panoplie de musique africaine. Nous allons passer 1 heure de musique où nous allons célébrer l'Afrique encore ensemble. Et non seulement ça, nous avons une invitée spéciale aujourd'hui. Il s'agit bien de Rosette Ngoy qui nous apporte sa belle musique africaine. Eh bien, vous verrez, nous allons passer des très bons moments. Le rendez-vous est pris pour 17h.
All right, so that is what's coming up on the top of the hour at 5 p.m. on Mixed Vibrations with Jolino Nsungu. And I must say, this is the last hour of the show, and I am actually wrapping up for today. And I've been standing in for Neto Chimane, who is actually away, and we'll be back with you next week. And from me, and the team, it's goodbye for now.